The third and final day of the NFL draft turns out to be a big one for players out of the University of Connecticut. The Titans have returned to Torrington under new ownership. Big league fun with little league prices. Turned into an old-fashioned gunfight in Anaheim. The man with the top shot in this one was Kemba Walker. He scored 36 points to lead the Huskies to a 74-67 win over San Diego State. While other servicemen returned from World War II to start families, Tom Behara came back to his hometown of Norwich, Connecticut to umpire the game he loves. 64 years later, at 85, he's still calling balls and strikes behind the plate. He has an interesting style.
Strike one, strike two, you're out.
Now, Tommy's got some unique calls, and from the circle strike to the safe call, which is with him no.
When I went to school, they said try to develop something different.
After returning from the U.S. Navy in 1946, Behara, a newlywed with his wife's blessing, attended the George Barr umpiring school in Sanford, Florida. He wanted to fulfill his dream of becoming an MLB umpire.
I had to be 6 foot tall, like a state cop, and they wanted the ball players to look up to the umpire, not the umpire look up to the ball players. So I said I might as well start working around the Connecticut area.
Behara has worked in over 50 games with his colleague Scott Blevins. A 17-year vet himself, Blevins knows a lot about Connecticut baseball and Tom Behara.
Tommy still has it. He still has it going on. I mean, I tell him, obviously I don't think he's in his prime anymore. He doesn't like that when I tell him that. But Tommy's still within the game. He's still got a ball in the strike zone, and he's still with it at 86. He's amazing.
It's a funny thing. I can feel real bad in the morning, don't feel like doing nothing, but as soon as I know that I have to be at the ball field, I'm altogether a different guy.
Besides being short, Behara credits his longevity to an age-old formula for success.
Geez, I hate to give this company a little bill, but I eat a lot of Wheaties. They come out with this breakfast of champions, and I tried it, and I've been going with it.
He's incredible. At 86, I think I'm going to find a rocking chair and maybe a bird feeder and maybe smoke a pipe or something like that. And Tommy's still doing ball games.
I'm well satisfied. I'm very happy because I'm umpiring in Connecticut. Strike three!
While his wife would like him to return home and call it quits, Behara says that is just not in the plans. Reporting from Norwich, Francesco Graziano Jr., Eyewitness News, Channel 3.
Now, Eyewitness Sports.
The third and final day of the NFL draft turns out to be a big one for players out of the University of Connecticut. Husky offensive lineman Zach Hurd did not get his name called, but 3 of his teammates got selected. In the meantime, Yale fullback and Pomperaug High School alum Shane Bannon was selected in the 7th round by Kansas City. UConn All-American running back Jordan Todman had to wait all the way until the 6th round to hear his name called. Todman was taken by the San Diego Chargers, drafted much later than he probably anticipated when he decided to leave UConn a year early. Todman ran for nearly 1,700 yards and 14 touchdowns this past season, his junior year. The first Husky to get drafted this year, fullback Anthony Sherman, selected in the 5th round by the Arizona Cardinals. Sherman is a strong blocker and can catch passes out of the backfield. With the first pick in the 6th round, the Carolina Panthers select UConn linebacker Lawrence Wilson. Wilson led the Big East in tackles the last 2 seasons. The Tuscaloosa, Alabama native was the first player from Bama to ever sign and play for UConn. You may remember Wilson having the big pick 6 in the late season win over South Florida. After blowing a 3-0 lead last year to the Flyers, a game where they led 3-0 in Game 7, the Bruins were in search of some early confidence in their playoff rematch with Philadelphia. Game 1 this afternoon in Philadelphia. The Bruins scored in the first 2 minutes. On the doorstep, it's David Krejci beating Brian Boucher with the first of 2 he'd have on the day. The Flyers would strike back for a 1-1 tie, but later, it's Tim Thomas making one of 31 saves to keep it tied. Late in the first period, Boston took the lead for good. Game 7 hero from the Montreal series, Nathan Horton knocks it in. The Bruins scored 3 times in the middle period to take a 5-1 lead. Krejci deflects in the Adam McQuaid shot here. Bruins ahead 4-1. Brad Marchand had a 2-goal game in this one, chasing Boucher from the game in favor of Sergei Bobrovsky. The Flyers' goalie troubles continue. Bruins win Game 1, 7-3. Game 2 is Monday night in Philadelphia. Only 3 teams in baseball have fewer wins than the last-place Red Sox. They started the day 4 games behind the AL East leading Yankees. The Sox are home tonight against Seattle. John Lackey pitches for the Sox, Doug Fister for the Mariners. Yankees back at the stadium, once again hosting the Blue Jays. New York trailed 1-0 in the second when Russell Martin lines a single up the middle. That brings in Nick Swisher, and we're tied up at 1. Still in the second, it's Curtis Granderson. He drops a single in right field. Martin beats the tag at home, part of a 3-run second for the Yankees. Toronto would get back into the game later on when Mike McCoy takes the A.J. Burnett pitch deep and out of the park. The Blue Jays made things close, but the Yankees hold on for the 5-4 win. The Mets taking on Roy Halladay and the Phils this afternoon. New York grabbed the lead in the 4th inning. Carlos Beltran with the RBI single up the middle. The Mets even had a lead on Roy Halladay, but it wouldn't last. In the 7th, John Mayberry Jr. takes on the John Neese pitch deep, and that one is gone. A solo homer, we're tied up at 1. Still in the 7th, Placido Polanco, the Met killer, flies out to right field. That brings in the go-ahead run, and that was plenty for Halladay. Here he gets Jason Bay on the strikeout, one of 8 strikeouts on the day for Halladay. A complete game win for Halladay. 2-1 is the final here. After their 6-game win streak was snapped, the Mets have now lost 3 in a row. That'll do it for sports. I'm Francesco Graziano Jr. The fans have spoken. Summer baseball is back in Torrington.
It's a great, fun, and affordable night out.
There's nothing like baseball on a summer night.
It's just a great place to watch a game.
I'm looking forward to a great season.
Let's go Titans!
The Titans have returned to Torrington under new ownership. Big league fun with little league prices. Come see the Titans Monday night at 7 p.m. at Fusionist Park. Gates open at 5:30 for tickets. Your team, your town. This is Titan Town.